Good evening. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you all for being here this evening. It is my honor and pleasure to be able to be here in South Baldwin. I know many of you already, and some of you I'm just now meeting, but it's an exciting time. It's a trying time, but it's an exciting time. So again, thank you all for being here. I have my wife who's sitting out there at the table, Michelle, wave your hands over here. But she's sitting out at the table, she's with me. I have part of my team with me, which is Thomas, and he has his wife Melanie out there helping as well. So Thomas, raise your hand there. There you go, Thomas right there. So he's part of our team. And then I have some of my family here, my cousin Martha. Some of y'all might know Martha. Raise your hand. That's my cousin, actually. I know we don't all look, we do kind of look alike, don't we? But it's a fascinating thing. Ancestry.com put us together. So, and she lives right here in Fort Morgan. So it's a fascinating thing how those things work out. I grew up in Virginia, she grew up in Mobile, and we're right here in the same place, and we're related, actually. Somebody asked me, said, how closely related are you? Because you kind of look alike on that picture. I said, well, we did kind of look alike on the picture. And then, of course, her husband, Wayne, is here with us as well. So thank you all for being here. Again, I know many of you already. So I have been involved in Baldwin County. I've been here for 12 years. So I've been involved pretty much since the day we arrived. My wife and I moved here from Virginia, from the Richmond, Virginia area 12 years ago. I worked for DuPont. I worked in Richmond. I transferred to Mobile, and that's how we ended up here. We had never lived in Alabama before. My wife was a little apprehensive at first. She's actually from Miami originally, but she was a little apprehensive. And then after we get here, we hear about 6 months, I come home from work and she says, well, if you move again, you can come home to visit on the weekend because I'm never leaving again. I was like, well, that's good. That means we're home now, right? So this is a place, this is home for us. I grew up, again, in Virginia. I joined the Army at 17 years old. So a little bit about my background. I joined the Army at 17 years old. Wanted to be in law enforcement. So I figured I'd go into the Army for 4 years. I'd get out, and then I'll be old enough to be, 21. I can go to the police academy or whatever. I was in the Army about 4 or 5 months, and I was like, they're gonna have to put me out of here. So I never did get back out. I stayed 21 years in the Army, and I retired after 21 years at 38. I turned 39 later that month, so that's not a bad deal, right? 21-year career and still being 38 years old. I retired. Again, I turned 39 later that month. Lived all over the world. We've lived all over the world, traveled all over. I really, really enjoy being here on the Gulf Coast. Really enjoy being here in Baldwin County. I ran for office years ago. I think it was 2018, and I was just telling, who was I telling? I was telling somebody earlier, I was telling that there's something about the Trump administration that inspires me to do more. Because I ran for office the last time, when he was in office the first time, and this time, again, there's something about him that inspires me to do more. And I thought about the fact that we have a granddaughter. We have 6 grandkids. We have 3 adult children, 6 grandchildren. Our youngest granddaughter is a year and a half years old. And as I thought about that she has fewer rights right now when she was born as her mother that's 38 years old did when she was born, there's something that needs to happen. There's some changes that need to be made. And I think right now is the time to make those changes. I do think I'm excited about having a Democratic candidate in every congressional district in the state of Alabama. That deserves a round of applause. There is a Democratic candidate. Last election, I think I looked at the ballot and there might have been 2 out of the 7 congressional districts. This election coming up, we have a candidate each and every one. There was some mention about candidates. I think John mentioned something about we need to find candidates for local elections. Qualifying is in January, right? We need candidates on every election on the ballot. this administration, I mean, I really don't have to talk much about policy, right? Because this administration tells it, they make our own commercials for us, right? All right, so during this government shutdown right now, and what we're dealing with right now, we need to protect people. They're cutting off SNAP benefits, they're cutting off Medicaid, and look, they want to point the finger at Democrats for not opening the government, but this is the only opportunity that they're going to have to protect their citizens, their constituents' medical coverage. This is, I mean, they couldn't do it when they passed the big, beautiful bill. That's what they call it, right? It's the big, ugly bill, but they couldn't do it then. But this is an opportunity they have to help possibly protect those credits, those Affordable Care Act credits that will be, if some of you probably already received the letter. Some of your premiums have already doubled, or and they're coming, right? Even worse. So this is the opportunity. So we can't listen to the noise. Hey, Democrats, if it wasn't for them, the government would be open. If it wasn't for that big ugly bill, this wouldn't be going on in the first place, right? We wouldn't be trying to protect the health care, the health coverage. We have too many people in Alabama that depend on SNAP. We have 750,000 people just in the state of Alabama that depend on SNAP benefits. 500,000 of those people are children. So we have these people who are applauding and to taking away benefits from children, right? Taking away food, making them food insecure, taking away health care. We have so many people, but those same people will be at church on Sunday morning, teaching Sunday school, teaching this, doing that. But they have no problem taking away food from the children or health care from the children. So that's why we need to make changes. I think now is the time to make these changes. Now is the time for us to change politics as we see it here in the state of Alabama. I know it's going to be an uphill battle in Congressional District 1. But all battles, they're worth fighting, right? When it comes to our health care, when it comes to our rights. Every time you turn around, there's one right or another that's being taken away. You can't have a comedian say something about them without trying to cancel their TV show or whatever. Whatever happened to laughing and being funny? Speaking of laughing, Pam told me I need to smile all the time because she saw a picture with me not smiling, but she said, I look really, but sometimes when my mind is, when I'm thinking about something, I'm not smiling, right? And somebody else snap a picture and she was like, oh, but I need to smile, which I do, I smile. But when things are serious, right? When you're talking about children going hungry, there's nothing to smile about, right? So if I'm giving an interview and I'm talking to someone about something serious like that, I will not be smiling. When I'm talking to you, just you and me, I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna smile every time I take a picture. Now I might not have my eyes open, but I'm gonna smile, right? But so there are so many things that are rights that are being stripped away slowly but surely, each and every day, right? Each and every day. Our freedom of speech. Freedom of speech only counts if you're speaking in favor of what they have going on. If you speak against what's going on in this administration, there's no longer freedom of speech, right? So I'm one that wants to get there. On day one, whatever I can do as a congressman to help protect our rights, that's what I'm going to do. Whatever I can do to make sure we have a balance, checks and balances, because we don't have checks and balances right now. We do not have checks and balances. We have a blank check that we just give him and let him do whatever he wants to do. We need to get back to having checks and balances. We need to get back to protecting people's rights. We need to get back to making people proud, and this patriotism thing with this flag. Everybody got a flag, but they don't mind turning our democracy into some type of monarchy. I don't get it. I don't understand it. How is that protecting America when you want to change us from a democracy like we are to some type of monarchy. I don't understand it. But again, we want to get in there. We want to make sure we have checks and balances back. We want to make sure we protect our rights. We want health care. We want universal health care. Now, the Affordable Care Act, that's another thing. You have people upset about their health coverage being cut, and they said, well, I thought they were going to cut Obamacare. That's the same thing as affordable. Right? That's the same thing, but they didn't realize they just associated a certain thing to Obamacare. They didn't realize that they actually were using the Affordable Care Act, right? So Affordable Health Care Act. So we need to. It's not perfect. No one ever said it was perfect, but it's what we have. And instead of trying to dissolve it and do away with it, let's fix it. Let's fix it. We have. I saw a representative today on an interview. He said, we have a plan to make a plan to get a plan to fix healthcare. I mean, it was like 3 different plans, but they still they didn't have the plan. They had a plan to make a plan to get a plan to fix healthcare. We need to make sure we fix healthcare. We can plug those holes. Again, it's not perfect, but there are things that we can do to fix what's there. But they're trying to slowly chip away. They're trying to slowly chip away. But I'm excited about what we can do in First District. First District, for those of you who may not know, is part of Mobile all the way over to Houston County, and Dale and Henry and all that. So there are 9 counties in the First District. I have to get out and get out in those other parts of the county, right? But I know that we have such a strong base right here. I'm not going to ever neglect Baldwin County, but I feel confident that you all that are sitting in this room and the people that you know are going to do the right thing when it comes to the polls. Sometimes you have people who support you because of the environment that we live in right now, who won't come out in public and say, hey, I support you. But that's okay too, as long as they do the right thing when they get into that poll. Right? That's important, to do the right thing. So again, I'm not going to talk long because some of you might have some questions. So if you have a question, again, you're welcome to ask. I did say I was a minister. I don't know if I said that or not, but I am a minister in a Baptist church. Someone asked me on an interview the other day, how would you balance, your religion and service in Congress? But I'm not running to become pastor of First Congressional District. I'm running to become the representative for First Congressional District. So of course I'll use my beliefs to help lead and guide me, but I'm going to be the representative for each and every person in the First Congressional District. I don't care who you love or what you look like. I'll be the representative for each and every one of the people in the First Congressional District. So again, I'm not running to be the pastor for the First Congressional District. So it plays a role in my life, but it doesn't prevent me from being an effective representative for each and every person here in the First Congressional District. Military service is extremely important to me. Like I said, I'm retired Army. It really hurts my heart to see what's happening to our military today. It really does. It really hurts my heart to see how we're discounting the women that have served in the military, discounting people of color that have served in the military. And we're doing a lot of that. We see a lot of that. We see they changed the grooming standard, right? Where you can't have a beard. A lot of black people in the Army had a medical reason to have a beard, right? Because of their skin, right? But this administration has changed that because they're trying to push those people out of the military. This administration has put numerous people in leadership positions who have no idea what they're doing. No idea. We have a person in charge of our health care for the nation who has no clue what they're doing. We have someone who's the Secretary of, he wants to say the Secretary of War, Secretary of Defense, who was a major in the National Guard. I don't ever diminish anyone's service, but being a major in the National Guard does not qualify you to be the Secretary of Defense. Our oldest son is a major in the Army right now. I called him, and he doesn't like, of course, you know, he's active, he don't want to talk politics, but I called him, I said, man, why don't you put in for the Secretary of Defense? So, but we're, you know, we're really proud of it. We're proud of all of our kids. My youngest son is a school teacher. That's another thing, education. We have so many entities trying to destroy public schools. They're doing the same thing here in Alabama, right? School choice. They're trying to destroy public schools. So I want to fight against that. If we destroy public schools, what do you think is going to happen to our country as a whole, our education system, right? It's going to completely go down. We're already in pretty bad shape, but they want to make it even worse. They want to make it even worse. So we have to protect. We have to pay school teachers. We're out here giving ICE agents $50,000 bonuses to sign and student loan forgiveness, but we can't forgive a teacher's student loan. So what are we doing, right? What are we doing? I could go on and on about the things that we need to fix. I'm just looking forward to the opportunity to doing it and representing you all. So again, I'm Clyde Jones. I'm a congressional candidate for 1st Congressional District, and I look forward to representing you all. So thank you very much. And we have some questions. So yes, yes, ma'am.
Well, while we were talking, I showed my ignorance. I didn't realize how big District 1 is.
Okay.
It includes Mobile and Montgomery and
Well, District 2 is most of District 2 is Mobile now, and Montgomery is District 2. So they've drawn it where it's just a small part of anything in Mobile below I-10 is District 1. There's a small sliver that goes up through like part of Sutherland and up to Mount Vernon. That's District 1. Everything else is District 2. Montgomery is District 2. So it's all the lower counties all the way over to the Georgia border is District 1. Yes.
So, are there other Democrats running for this position in this district?
There are not, as of yet. But qualification is not until January. So there may be someone else who jumps into the race. And they may wait until January to say, hey, I'm gonna jump into the race. So there are 4 candidates on the Republican side right now, and they can fight it out all they want. They can beat each other up and see who the closest, who can help Trump the most. Because that's all, every one of them, that's their tagline. We're here to support, we're here to this administration, right? So that's what their whole policy pretty much is. We're here to continue this administration's work and continue their policy. So let them fight it out, those 4. So we'll see. I may have a primary candidate. The primary is in May, in case you don't know. Make sure you double check your registration because they have purged the rolls. And you might have voted the last election, but that doesn't guarantee that you're still on the voting roll. So make sure you check your roll. I'll be right with you. Let me get this one right here.
Thank you, Clyde. And thank you for running.
Yep.
We need a candidate that we can get behind. My question to you is, you mentioned that this is going to be an uphill battle.
Right.
So you are going to need independents, some moderate Republicans. What is the game plan to speak to those people and hopefully get some folks on board?
Okay. So I don't know if everybody heard Donna, but she said, what is the game plan to get people who are maybe on the fence or independent or, moderate Republicans? part of the game plan is to get out there face to face, you know, and talk to them. I have to spend a lot of time out in the rural areas, and Mick and I, we had a conversation about those areas in the Coffee County, all the rural areas in the farmland. I actually grew up in a very rural area, so I'm familiar with. Granted, I left when I was 17, but I am familiar with that type of environment, and I look forward to getting out there and talking to those folks. But many of those people have been negatively affected by what's going on already, right? So I firmly believe that they will be willing to make a change. They might not make a change in the future after this, but I firmly believe that they have been, some of them understand that they have been tricked, and they're losing subsidies, they're losing different things, right? A lot of these farmers, you know, we're giving business to, we're buying soybeans and cattle and stuff from Argentina instead of taking care of our own farmers and cattle ranchers, right? So there are so many things that are coming up that I think would sway those people to vote our way, and that's what we're dependent on. We're dependent on them again, but making that personal contact, and I'm gonna have to beat the ground and put boots on the ground out there in those areas where they are, right? Because even here, if you talk to tourism, we got Canada that said we ain't fooling with y'all right now, right? So we're losing a lot of money even in this area because of the administration's policies and the things that are going on. So some people, again, although they might not come out and say that they're supporting, I think there's gonna be a change. There's gonna be a shift in what's going on. So that was a question over here, and I'll come right back to you.
I have a question about early voting. What are your thoughts on early voting? We are one of 3 states in the United States that do not allow any type of early voting. Right. And absentee voting has such a long definition that if you have something that comes up today and voting is tomorrow, right, you can't vote absentee. Right. Is there any? Well,
I'm all for early voting. Again, I grew up in Virginia, right? They have early voting. They have been voting for 2 weeks. Today was matter of fact, we're gonna have a celebration tonight because there's gonna be a Democratic governor in Virginia after tonight. But they have been voting for weeks. And I had been on my mother. I said, Mom, you know, she's up in there. I said, go early so you don't have to worry about standing in that line. She never did. But I texted her first thing this morning. I said, what's the plan to get to the polls? And my sister took her. And they both voted. So I was like, thank you, love it. That's what we need to see. But we need early vote. Again, like you said, there are only 3 states that don't have it, and we're one of them. Early vote. We need to. Why do you think they're so concerned about limiting the opportunities for people to vote? Why do you think they're concerned about that? Because they don't want the turnout, right? They don't want the turnout at all, right?
Because the more turnout, the more Democrats.
The more, absolutely. Do you know why we vote on Tuesday? You might know. You might know the history. I just learned this history the other night when I was in Covington County. Has to do with farming, right? They used to only come to town once a week, and they would come on like a Monday or something, and Sunday for church.
And when they able to get home until Monday.
Yeah. So and then Tuesday was the vote, right? That's why they did it, and that's what we still sticking to. That was when people were like horse and buggies, and then that's why it was on a Tuesday, because they were already in town and they could vote. They were there and they could vote, and that's why we still vote on a Tuesday, and that's what we're still doing. We need to get out of that. Absolutely need to get out of that. So, yes, ma'am, you had something else.
2 things.
Uh-huh.
Living here
Uh-huh.
for all but 4 years of my life,
Mm-hmm.
FEMA,
Mm.
and the Weather Bureau.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And what happened in Arkansas, when they got hit, and FEMA's like, no, we don't. And Texas and everywhere, we need NOAA and we need
Absolutely.
FEMA.
Absolutely.
Because I lived in a FEMA trailer that Jimmy Carter sent down here after Frederick
Yeah.
for a year while my house was being redone.
Yeah.
It wasn't fancy, but it was a home.
Right.
And this administration, I think they're gonna piss so many people off,
Right.
and they're gonna kill people.
Mm.
People are gonna drown,
Yeah.
and people are gonna be hit in tornadoes, and,
We've already seen it.
the hard thing to do is to not say, I told you so.
Right.
Because when you're drowning, you don't need somebody to say, I told
I
you
told you
so.
so. Yeah.
We've got to reach out and be kind,
That's right.
because they're hurting, and a lot of us are hurting.
We've seen it. We've seen it. And thank you for bringing that point up. And this current administration pick and chooses who they give money to. The state of Maryland, because they have a Democratic governor, they need recovery funds for
Well, when
flooding.
Sarah Jane Hucker, whatever her name is,
Well, and they still
she couldn't get
Yeah,
anything,
she couldn't
and
get
she was part of
yeah.
his first
Yeah.
administration.
She was right. I mean, she was. Yeah. But again, he made a point to say why he didn't give Maryland funds. He just didn't give her. He just didn't give her funds. But you're right. You're right. I mean, even Texas again with the Weather Bureau, with eliminating all those positions. Public safety is important.
Yeah.
We can't cut funds from public safety. We need to keep our citizens.
Well, all the
safe.
hurricanes went that way this
Yeah.
year. This is the weirdest hurricane season I've ever seen, because we have not been hit.
Right.
Had anything come near, they've all turned, turned east, but,
But it can change just like
I
that.
mean, I talked to a few people that were here for Frederick and Ivan, and
I get you.
so,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Great point. Great point. Yes, ma'am.
Two things
Yeah.
too. First thing is, how do you feel about APAC money, getting any of those kind of donations? Where do you stand? Would you accept that?
Well, the only pack right now that I would accept is a veteran type pack, like Vote for Vets or something like that, right? I was asked that question on TikTok the other day, actually, about accepting money from some Israeli pack. I would not at all. Right?
Good choice.
Yeah, I would
Very
not.
good
So
choice.
again, really the only thing that, and that's why it's so important. Pam can say it, but I need your support. I do. I need your, and I'm not one of those people that can loan myself $1 million and pay for my campaign, and then wait to get the funds in.
Well,
And
you're
there,
not doing a service to yourself by voting for someone who does take money.
right. Oh,
That's
absolutely.
not even a good vote.
It's not.
me.
It's not. And there's a lot of them that do it, right? A lot of them that do it. A lot of them, again, on the other side of the aisle, a lot of them are financing their own campaign. That's not gonna happen. Look at my wife; she's shaking her head. No, that's not gonna happen. No. But that's I'm not gonna be able to finance my. But no, I'm not. Again, there are some veteran PACs that I would take money because they get behind veteran candidates that they believe in, and I probably. And I believe in what they stand for, right? I believe in veterans' rights. I believe in making sure the VA, everything stays intact like it should be. This administration wants to take away the commissaries. Any of you been in the military before? The commissary is the grocery store. They want to privatize the commissaries. You know what happened if they would turn those commissaries over to private companies. Yeah, right. So that's what they want, because it will line their pockets, right? It will definitely line their pockets if they turn those military commissaries over to private companies, and that's what they're looking at. That's what they're looking at doing.
So how do you feel about the corporate, no taxing, like you would be?
Oh no, yeah, I'm not for that at all. I'm not for. No corporation should pay fewer taxes than I do, right? So we pay a higher tax rate than many of those corporations. Even the companies that we draw here to Baldwin County in different areas, right? We attract these companies by giving them all these tax breaks, right? One thing I can say about Texas, they have these big schools and nice schools because when these companies go to Texas, they do make them They make them build a school. They make them, pay money or something. We don't do that because we're afraid that they're not going to bring the company here if we ask them to do something like that. But all those huge high school stuff you see online in Texas, they make them pay for those things when they bring the company there. So I think we should do those type of things,
I
right?
don't think they've gotten the gist of the boycott yet.
Oh yeah.
Because pretty soon that is going to be a loud voice, the boycott,
Right.
which is coming up November 25th through December 2nd.
Yeah, the economic boycott.
Blackout the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I wanted to ask if you could choose, what committee would you serve on?
I'm leaning toward the Armed Services Committee, and there's a few reasons. Obviously, one reason is I'm familiar with the military and what they do, and it's near and dear to my heart. Again, our oldest son is serving active duty right now, so that's something that's definitely near and dear to my heart. There are other committees that will be important to the First District, Agriculture Committee, right? And a lot of rural area. But as a freshman congressman, I mean, you get so many. You can only be on so much, right? But I think I'd be leaning more towards the military, armed forces.
I think that on Donnie's, I know I didn't say his name right, his campaign, I hope you take notes, because it was extremely individual, one-on-one,
Yeah.
real-life person.
Right.
Go study that, because I think, we're ready to vote for someone just like that here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
And you look like him.
I'm sorry, just since you said you were from Virginia, John's got an update on the Virginia election.
Okay. Yeah.
Governor's rate, 22% of the vote in, Democrat, 57% of the vote.
Yeah.
Republican, 42%.
Okay. We're gonna keep that going.
Democrat, 53% of the vote. Republican, 47% of the vote.
Okay.
Lieutenant governor, Democrat, 55% of the vote. Republican, 44% of the vote.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, I know firsthand there were enough people ticked off in Virginia to make those things happen, and hopefully there are enough people that are upset with what's going on here in Alabama to make that type of change, right? They had a governor in Virginia who he just did anything that Trump wanted. He just was vying for some type of position in the cabinet or whatever. He never did get anything, actually. But he was trying. He was trying to get everything. But they will have a governor who cares about the people. She has a lot of experience. She was a former CIA agent. She was a former senator, or I think she was Senate. Yeah, but so she has a lot of experience. So again, I think here in Alabama, we're ready for that type of change. And I get your point. It's gonna have to be a lot of one-on-one, and that's me, right? I don't have a lot of money, but I am a personable person, right? And I can talk.
Go to a few K bars and make yourself known.
Yeah, I'm a big jazz guy, right? I just looked up. I did not know that Dothan has a nice jazz place downtown called Uptown Jazz. So guess where I'll be soon? No, but so absolutely. But
It's all neat there.
yeah. So yeah, absolutely. I will be out and about, out in the rural areas, talking to farmers, seeing what their needs are. There are a lot of people in Alabama that don't vote at all. I found that out the first time I ran. I would walk into someone's home and would start talking about voting, and they would say, we don't vote. Really? But there was a lot of apathy because they didn't think their vote counted. This midterm election is going to be awfully important, right? There's no electoral college. There's nothing like that. That's why we need to have a candidate in every race. Because this is the time to make a change, particularly on this midterm election. Now, it's a little different for the presidential election because of the electoral college and so forth and so on. But this midterm election, we have an opportunity to make it wholesale changes in this state. And for the country. Yes, ma'am.
It was my impression that, many of the churches supported Trump, his first term. Do you see, and even in this, voted for him in the second, the congregations of churches, particularly in the South, I guess, do you see any change now that he has shown himself to be anything but a follower of Jesus?
Unfortunately, I see still a lot of the same thing. Now, in some churches, okay, I see some of the same thing. I was telling somebody, and I'm not gonna call any names or any churches, but I'm in a theology group. And we were talking about, it's a very mixed group, and we were talking about some of those things, right? So they still support Trump wholeheartedly. They do. I mean, the pastor bragged about voting for him 3 times. I mean, how can you?
Do they tell you why?
Oh, no, they didn't get that far. But I voted for him 3 times, and they were happy about it. I'm like, really? I mean, the first time I'll give you that. That was a mistake, you know. But the other times, come on, man. He's really shown. To me, I knew he was the first time. Right? And if you paid any attention to his lawsuits that he had filed against him, bankruptcies, any of those things before the first time, you knew who he was before the first time. But I'm gonna give you the fact that you voted for him the first time. But to vote for him 2 more times after that, and being the pastor of a church.
So how can someone like James Talarico,
Texas, yeah.
speak the way he does, so eloquent and straightforward? How can they ignore that logic? The Christians hear that and not think, yeah, this is not right.
Because they've been conditioned for years to think a certain way. To think you have to be a Republican to be a Christian. They have been conditioned.
Fox News. Fox News.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. That'll do it to you right there. But I was at a play in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, not long ago. Well, probably a year ago now. In that play, it was Annie. In that play, they mentioned Democrats twice, and it's part of the play, right? And it was like a joke. So this little girl asked her mom, sitting behind me, "Mom, what's a Democrat?" This little girl was like 7, 8 years old. "Mom, what's a Democrat?" "Oh, those are the people that want to take all our money." And my wife grabs my arm, "Don't you dare." Don't you dare, because I wanted to say something. But I didn't. The play was still going on. But that type of conditioning, and in church, because many churches now don't even preach about Jesus Christ, because they don't want to hear about taking care of the poor, or taking care of the orphans, or the widows, or they don't want to hear that. So they don't even preach about, and I just preached a sermon recently, and we're not going to get too much into that, but I call a red letter day. The red letters, in your Bible, that's when Jesus is speaking most of the time. But they don't even want to talk about what he said. So they're talking about other things. And the people are conditioned to believe certain things, right? Colleges are doing it, right? Colleges are doing, they indoctrinate folks, and they'll be the first one talking about somebody being groomed. But that young lady that's sitting behind me was being groomed, right? When you say they're the people who want to take all our money, right? So they're being groomed. Yes, ma'am.
And kind of tying in with the question back there, how can they still be supported? And what I've noticed is whenever I will make a statement about the dishonesty of the current regime of some kind, what I'll get back is all politicians are crooked. All politicians cheat. And that, what I've decided is that is what they do to absolutely not have to think about it anymore, because they don't want to think. They're afraid to think. They're afraid to think for themselves. They're afraid to take the deep dive. And so they just, the wall is just there.
But again, I'm depending on you all sitting in this room and people like you. When you're sitting in a group of people and this comes up, to being the common sense person in the room that says, hey, you know, both sides aren't the same, right? Because you'll hear that all the time. You know, everybody's no, there's no both sides here on these issues, right? Again, you know, I'm a public servant. I'm not a politician, and you'll hear politicians say that all the time, but I'm truly not. I have been a public servant all my life. I feel like my military service was being a public servant, you know, from a young person. So that's what I look forward to doing, right? And we have to have the moral courage to stand up and speak the truth, right? And I know, again, where we live right now, we're in many situations where we are certainly the minority in the room, right? As far as being on the Democratic side of the aisle. But it's more about being on the human being side of the aisle than it is about a party, right? It's more about being a compassionate, loving human being who cares about the children, that cares about other people, really more than party. And that's what we have to convince people. It's more about being just a caring individual, you know? It's not party, but you have to. We see so many people who don't care about other people. There's someone back here, and I'll get you next. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, one point, one question. My point being, when we give this money from the Democrats to all these churches, we need to make sure that they don't just add it, we got a donation. We need to make sure they know who it's from.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I meant to say that. Anybody that's making a donation and goes to that church and drops off anything, tell them, I'm a member of the South Baldwin Democrats, and we care. We care. I mean, we had a t-shirt one time I had made, Democrats care. And we do. And I think we need to get that out to the public. That we're not sitting idle, we're working for you guys.
Right. That's a key point. Yes, ma'am.
So, the second part, which is the question. I understand what you're saying, and most of us in this room are past that point, but I thought with many of the women in this room were reproductive rights.
Right.
And you're talking, you have a small granddaughter who has less rights.
Right.
When you get in Congress and you're looking at supporting a Supreme Court judge nominee, how is your Baptist background going to relate to, are you pro-life?
Well, a couple things. To me, pro-life means something other than pro-birth. It means taking care of the mother before the child is born, taking care of the mother or the child after it's born. So to me, that's what pro-life is all about. But also, as a Christian, Christ gave us the opportunity to make a choice, right? I feel like a woman should have an opportunity to make the choice for herself. I don't think any man, any legislator, anybody should be able to make that choice for that woman. I just saw a video the other day. This woman voted for Trump 3 times, and now she was told by her OBGYN that she's going to have to go to another state to have the baby because it's going to be a complication, and she's in Texas, and they will have to let her die because they can't take the baby. She thought a late-term abortion was the baby was born, and then you killed the baby.
That's what he said.
But her point is that pro-life is also, you know, you're usually against the death penalty.
Yes.
Right. All those.
If you want SNAP benefits.
All of those. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that pro-choice and pro-life are not the same.
Yeah.
Well, pro-life and pro-birth, I mean, he said it,
Yeah.
that is 2 different things.
It is. And there's one thing about this Alabama with these license that says choose life. You ever notice that? What's the first word?
Choose.
Right. Okay.
I just want to play the Spinberger one.
Oh, there you go. All right. Thank you. Awesome. So Virginia did the right thing, huh? Governor Spanberger, the new governor of Virginia, so, yeah. Abigail. So that's great. They did the right thing. Yes, ma'am.
One more thing from me.
Mhm.
You know, I think I'm right, or I heard this, I hope it's correct, that, when Tommy Tuberville was first in the Senate,
Mm.
he was caught up short because he didn't know the three branches
Branches of
of
government.
government.
Yeah, yeah.
So I hope that you are well versed.
I am well.
All that,
I-
and the Constitution.
I am.
All right.
I am, very much so, very much so. I still remember Schoolhouse Rock. I learned back then, but yeah, I am very much so. Yes, ma'am.
What can we do, if we look around this room, we're all old, what can we do to help you get young people involved in your campaign?
Well, talk to the young people in your life for one, right? That you know, because I mean, we all are kind of up in age, but unfortunately, our kids live away, right? We have our youngest son lives in Ohio. Our oldest son is in Texas. Our daughter, who is the oldest, is in Colorado. So none of them are actually here. But talk to the young people that you know. Talk to the young people in your life. Get them involved. Make sure they're registered to vote. Make sure that and it's not just registering to vote. It's actually going to the polls. You know, we have a lot of people in the state of Alabama that are registered to vote that just don't bother to go to they don't bother to go to the polls. But talk to the young people in your life. One of the things that we do in our church is we try to teach civics, try to teach history, because a lot of times they won't let them do it in the school anymore, right? To a certain extent. So we try to take the time to be able to teach those things to our young people at church so they would be well versed and know how to make those choices, right? We're not telling them who to vote for or who to choose, but what are you looking at to make those choices in life, right? So, very good question. Yes, ma'am.
Baldwin County won't even let the League of Women Voters come into the public school system
Right.
and register teenagers who are gonna be 18 at the next election to vote. So that's the other place that you can pressure
Mm-hmm.
school board and everything else, because we can't go in
To get people.
register kids.
But Turning Point USA can create a club
Right.
Right.
in the
Yeah.
school. They got one in Fairhope High School that just started.
Gulf
So
Shores has one of the largest.
they have one too? Okay.
I think you need a TikTok, I think you need Instagram, I think you need to make
Social
videos
media.
like, just to get that young.
I have all of those. Please follow me. I have all of those. I have a series of videos on TikTok.
Wear
Right? I
funny
just
glasses, do whatever it takes
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
to their
get
level.
it to get to the young people.
Learn how to
Yeah.
dance, I don't know what you got.
That might be a bridge too far. I don't know. Yeah.
To that point, your campaign, in addition to having you personally go out there,
Uh-huh.
really needs a social media component.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, working with Indivisible recently, the people that, and Scott can speak to this, Scott took video of Barry Moore as he
Yeah,
ran
yeah.
out the
Tell me
back
about it.
door,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it made national news.
Right.
And that's because we had people in Indivisible who know how to get that stuff out into the
Yeah,
universe. And that's what you need to be out.
Oh,
in the
absolutely,
universe.
absolutely. And I'm working with, and I'm thankful for Justin Quigley. You know, I think you know Justin.
Yes,
but
yes.
So he's a influencer on TikTok, and I've started working with him. I actually did a series of interviews with him on this past weekend that he's releasing a little bit at a time. But those things, again, if you see something from me on Facebook, on Instagram, share it, right? Share it. That's how we're gonna reach more people. We're not gonna be paying for a whole lot of ads, right? And eventually we might have some ads, but it's gonna be word of mouth. It's gonna be social media, and that's how we're gonna get the word out. And my wife is a great dancer. Maybe I'll get her on some of the. Maybe she can teach me something.
But
Yeah.
you do need to, you know, make yourself known, you know, wherever they hang out.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
you gotta be.
Gotta be there. Yeah, gotta be there. Yes, ma'am.
Are there Republicans running in,
There are 4
okay.
right now. There are 4. Jerry Call, who was in the seat before Barry Moore beat him in the primary this last time, right? So he's running again. And then like I said, there's one that just declared like last week, who's a retired Major General. So So he's military. There are two others that have military backgrounds. So although, you know, military background is important, they're supporting this administration, which really doesn't support the military. So if you stand up on the debate stage with me and you're supporting this, I don't want to hear about you, what you have to say about the military, if you're supporting what they're doing right now. So, again, I never take anything away from anyone's military service, never, because it is a sacrifice. I know how big of a sacrifice it is to dedicate your life for, even for a few years, for military service. But if you're one of those people who applauds the fact that this current administration pardoned 1,500 people that attacked the Capitol building, that they wanted to give military honors to one of those people that was killed attacking the Capitol building, we're not the same type of veteran. We are not the same type of veteran. If you applaud that type of thing, if you applaud all those people that were arrested for assaulting police officers and then turn around and say back to blue, we're not the same type of people, right? Because you are applauding the fact that these people were pardoned and they were the ones attacking police officers, people doing their jobs, protecting the Capitol building. So all these folks with the back to blue flag and all that, but they turn right around and support this administration doing what they're doing. So there's a lot, and I definitely, if you have any more clues about young people, because we definitely want to get the young people involved. That's what we really need, young people. We really need them to get out and vote. We need them to spread the word. One of my social media people is a young person. Well, she's 27. That's young to me. That's really young. So she's working on some things for me as well. Matter of fact, follow me on Facebook, on Instagram. She just posted some of the pictures from the kickoff in a video on those things. So again, follow me on TikTok. We're doing videos. I do videos like once or twice a week, just talking about the current issues that are going on as well. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I boycotted TikTok.
Oh, you boycotted TikTok?
Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
But, are you progressive? I mean, they really respond to.
So what do you consider progressive? What do you?
Well, I mean, I'm really anything that's not Trump, right?
Well, yes, I am progressive. I am progressive, but I am progressive.
Well, I mean, you know, we've got a generation that will rely on us to make that happen for them.
Yeah.
You know, until they come up, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying any weird thing.
Right. But yeah, I understand I have to meet them where they are. But I'm depending on you all to help with that too. But I do have to meet them where they are and where they're located, all that. But I appreciate. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, one thing, does anybody in here have a club or another
Oh, yeah.
organization or something that Clyde can come and speak to and we could get them involved? Anything? If you do, let me know at least.
Yeah.
And, because that would be great, getting more out for a young kids club. I mean,
Yeah. Anything, yeah, like that.
imagination, let's think, guys.
Yeah. Even you know, when springtime comes, if you're willing to have a meet and greet at your home, just let me know and we'll schedule something and we'll, you know, invite some young folks
Or a
over.
fundraiser at your home.
Yeah. So, well, that's part of the meet and greet, really.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah,
Well, went to some of the protesting for sure.
well, I was there. I was there at the last Fairhope one. I had my sign that says Congress needs to get to work on it. So but
Usually that's a good place to be. I'm
Yeah.
actually gonna get to go to Washington next.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, thank you all for being here. I don't want to keep you any longer. If you know, definitely sign up. Hopefully you've already signed up out there on the Fed. If you want to volunteer for something, just kind of put that beside it, and my volunteer coordinator will input your data, and they will send you an email or something to kind of get you together in a group to figure out exactly what you wanna do. And she, look, even if you can't get out, now she's one of those people that can't get out and about very much. But we send her the information to her house, she puts it all in, and she's gonna be on the phone coordinating and calling people. So if you can't get out, that's okay. There are things that you can do for this campaign without having to get out to get on the street or knock on any doors. Of course, when we start knocking on doors, we're gonna need as many people as we can to do that as well. But there's plenty to be done.
Are you gonna do postcards?
Yes, yes,
Hey, listen,
yes.
our crew is good postcard.
Good postcards.
Yes.
Yes.
We are.
Yeah, we are definitely gonna do postcards.
I've got-
We did 1,500 for Shamari from Baldwin County.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we're definitely gonna do that. So.
Have you gotten to talk to Shamar?
I have not. He has been awfully busy. He actually he has 3 bills that he is proposing to help the stopgap with the SNAP and all that. But again, Congress is not even, the Republicans are not even there. And they say they're not coming back to after January. So, until January. So you're talking about government shutdown going through the holidays. I just got a message from a cousin yesterday who's furloughed. He said, I appreciate you running for office. I'm supporting you. He said, I'm furloughed right now. And that's a lot of people, right? A lot of people are affected by that. So,
Yeah.
all right, we're good. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it.